welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the SEL, the StarCraft Evolution League Season 2 Last Chance Qualifier number 1. I'm of course your VIP, with me I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to something a little bit different here. Welcome to StarCraft Evolution. It's that time of the week, papi. It is that time. We're here, we are back, and we're here to cover some of these qualifiers. Again, of course, last week we were able to cover all of the StarCraft Evolution Masters PTR events, but now we're here to cover the Last Chance Qualifiers. These are the Last Chance Qualifiers to actually make it through and to advance on into that main event, into the StarCraft Evolution League Championship, which will be taking place in around a month, in around 2 months time. Is going to be right around the corner. So again, we are here to indulge in some SC Evo. For those that may be shooting for the first time, StarCraft Evolution is a mod that does blend together Brood War and StarCraft 2. It does pit them against each other, and of course, exciting news is that now I believe the latest versions are able to be going live. I'm sure amendments are going to be made. I mentioned it last time, but we are going to be going over the PTR notes after this. I should say next week or in 2 weeks time. It's going to be a while, but we will be catching up on those. Again, last night we were just a little bit strapped for time in regards to covering and jumping into OSC King of the Hill and casting OSC King of the Hill. It was a long broadcast, man. Yeah. It was long, it was intense, but regardless, we are now getting into our fresh best of 3. Up first, we have Tasia versus Geralt. Once again, it's great to see that Tasia, he's competing more and more often in the StarCraft Evolution League. Again, he has been competing a little bit more here and there, playing a little bit more, taking part. He took part in the King of the Hill, of course. He took part in the SEL Masters. Now he is here for the Last Chance Qualifiers as well, for an opportunity to be a part of the main championship as well. For now, though, we're jumping into Game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Pylon. Here we go. What is StarCraft Evolution? True. Avex doesn't know. You've been gone for years, man. You've been gone for years. Also, don't apologize if my camera wasn't showing properly. But here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Geralt. En un momento, baby, un momento. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the long retired Terran. Now he's back. He has returned, the brutal Terran himself. It is Tasia. Here we go. Just catching him. I believe he will not be around for much longer. Oh, Ocean Explosion. No, not like this. Are you referring to Tasia? Are you referring to Tasia? He's only going to be around for a limited time. I see. I believe when he receives news of passing his civil service exam. Oh, there you go. So we gotta appreciate him while we can, papi. While we can. Let's go. For the time being, though, we are going to be setting up. We are going to be setting up here on the low ground. Okay, Tasia here with the low ground racks. From here, you can go into a second rack, so you can look to wall up and wall off. We'll see what kind of opener he does indulge in. Again, we have what I appreciate the most out of players like so far Tasia and Dice is that they have been mixing up their openers and have been showing us at least builds that we have yet to really see too much of. Again, like when it comes to TVP, when it comes to matchup, we are so used to seeing 3-rack stim, we're so used to seeing double factory into mass vulture, but our players have been exploring a little bit more as of late, which I do appreciate. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe this is just going to turn into something like a 3-racks. Regardless, true. We'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there at some point in the broadcast. Don't you worry. Until then, you have Geralt going for his own standard opener. Geralt, I feel like he's been playing a little bit less StarCraft Evolution as of late. I mean, that's most likely because he has been focusing a little more on StarCraft 2, especially with the FVL Championship, with the offline event happening in Krakow, with the Polish Championship as well. So Geralt has been hyperfixated on StarCraft 2, but great to see every now and then he's able to dip his toes in and compete in a StarCraft Evolution League event every now and then. Of course, nowadays he's also focusing on organizing and running that big offline tournament as well. It's been really big news for Geralt, and it's been really really cool to see him taking another role here when it comes to StarCraft, not just competing, but also tournament organizing and even production-wise as well. For those that remember, Geralt, he did speak on how he was also kind of like working on quote-unquote directing. It's 2 Factory, Master Ultra, by the way. God damn it. But he spoke about how he was focusing on directing streams as well regarding the EWC broadcasts from the Polish side of things, or sometimes from the international side of things as well. That is most likely also going to be a factor coming into this year's Esports World Cup. So Geralt working behind the scenes, Ziggy working behind the scenes. So really cool to see that, again, taking on a different role. Meanwhile, behind this, we do show up the first factory, but we hide the second factory further back in the main. So double factory looks to be Massive Ultra. Did mention that this is one of the more popular, one of the more standard builds that we do see quite often, so I think we might see something a little bit different here, but for now that looks like what we're indulging in as we're going for the factory into tank. First, rushing into siege mode. Okay, you have my attention. Rushing into siege mode, not rushing into mines, not rushing into iron thrusters. We have the earlier tank here to hold and to defend the natural. So far, Stalker's getting some free damage. They pick up the first depot, now going for the other, and more Stalkers rocking up, more depots going down. Oh, picking away at the SCVs, the tank has arrived, and with that we should be able to hold on here as the depot is getting quite low. And depot is getting low. Stalker's going to be zoned away, and Tasia is holding 3 more seconds. Siege mode will be done, and with that he can hold on. Behind this, now we're getting to spider mines. We do have a second tank on the way just to be safe, a third tank as well. Again, Tasia just securing himself. Meanwhile, Geralt's back at home, taking up into his own Twilight Council into Robo. So far, 3-gate Bling at Twilight Council into Robo. What is this, SC2? This is a very standard, very safe way of opening up here. Geralt now claiming his third base on the right-hand side, is going for, again, a very standard opener. With this, he'll have Stalkers to defend. He'll have access to Observers if need be, access to Immortals if need be as well. And we'll see how Tasia does open up. Behind this, now working towards all the Vulture upgrades. Iron Thrusters, we have Spider Mines on the way as well. The initial tanks, they will defend, they will hold on to the natural. And we'll see if Geralt can find a way in. As a reminder, he has the option to go into a prison, but again, he already took a third base, so he's not going to commit on 2 bases that much harder. There we go, now have the 4th gateways on the way. 4th and 5th. Building up into Mass Bling Stalker. Checking the vision, Geralt, he's not fully aware of what's going on. He has yet to scout the main base, so he's working a little bit in the dark. It is a little more standard. Instead of going for extra gateways, to go for a forge, to go for charge into +1, into a more heavy gateway composition. And I would advise that as well, especially going up against mech, but Geralt is unaware as vultures have now arrived. Ooh, when they get into the middle lines, Geralt's out of position, going across the map, and Probe's going to be going down, and there we go, he's forced to recall. Forced to recall back home, and nice damage. Nice damage here out of Tasia, catching out 5 workers. So 5 probes do go down. Behind this, Tasia investing into more upgrades, getting to +1 vehicle weapons. Getting to +1. Just clearing up all the mines, securing his third. Now working towards Zone Forge, working towards +1. I spoke earlier about Charge, how that's a standard follow-up. It's possible we might have forgotten that. As slow lots are going to be warped in. Vultures, they bust into the bases. And Geralt, he's trying to keep up. And trying to keep up. 3, 4, 5 probes going down. Brutal damage. We'll finally shut this down. And again, we're expecting those upgrades here out of Geralt. Once again, nice damage here across the map. Meanwhile, in total, 14 probe kills. Ay. And yeah, as we mentioned, Geralt, he was banking up resources for quite some time, but there we go. Now we have charge on the way, now +1 on the way. It's going to be a little bit more delayed here from the side of Geralt. Did go for the earlier gateway explosion. So far, Geralt trying to secure himself. It has been nice economic damage so far. Tasia getting a third base, building up, getting into a longer mid-game. Gaining access to Goliaths. Heavily securing himself. He is done with vulture production. That's a lot of, jeez, that's a lot of tanks. Oh my god. Just building up his tank counts. Slowly expanding, taking a bit of a slower approach here to pylon. Speaking of slow approach. Takes down the gas. So the gas guys are again attempting to delay the third base. Does get punished for it. Geralt going to be forced further back. Again, charge is still not yet done. Engaging into this tank line is not going to be easy. Not going to be possible even. No, without those charge lots. And even then, I don't think it's wise to push into this kind of setup here. We have spider mines. We have more siege lines. We have a lot of tanks. Tasia looking very secure. Prism is deflected in the main. And we're going for the Stargates. We might from here just be going into Sky Toss. At the same time, Geralt, nothing to defend back at home. He's getting caught out. Oh, never mind. Just shut down those vultures. I think just force some friendly fire. Let's go. Prism does find a way into the main. We're getting some charge lots. Spider-Man, nice control here by Geralt. It does save the Zealots. Stalk is in between the bases, catching up more of these vultures, and there are no tanks here at the natural. There is an opening. It is a bit of an opening, but the Stalks are so low. Yeah, they're so incredibly low at this point. Geralt bleeding out so much supply. Zealots are cleaned up. Doesn't get much damage done. Geralt now securing his fourth base. Again, he has lost a lot. Now he's being forced further back. He's being forced further back. We do have the fleet beacon on the way. Again, head towards Skytos. Vultures, they supply once again. Getting a handful of workers. Yo, this time we have defensive cannons, okay? Cannons are getting set up. And we could be here for a while. I feel like a little of this will depend on when Tasia moves out. Like Tasia, again, his tank count is quite high, is looking quite secure. If given time, Geralt, he will eventually get into Tempest, eventually get into Skytos, or at least just a mothership. But he's working in that direction. Especially against mech is going to be necessary. Soldiers ate the bases once again. Yeah, collapsing on the Immortal. The Spider Mines, they will collapse in. Oh, at least trying to. Okay, that could have been so much worse. I think something that catches me off guard every time is just the shorter range here of the Spider Mines. So thankfully, Geralt, he does hold on. Thankfully, he holds, he defends. And now here comes the move out. This is what we were waiting for. The mass sun siege out of Tasia. How many tanks? 13. 13 tanks, 18 vultures. He's got a science also behind this, and now it's time to move out. And especially on Pylon, the rush distance by ground is so short. He's already across the map. He's already here. And there's no stopping this. Yeah, he's already getting within range of the expansion. And Geralt's out of position. He cannot push in. He's going to try. Oh, God, he's going to try. The tank volleys are brutal. Nice target firing on the Stalkers, and Geralt will lose everything. Yeah, the Gateway Army crumbles. And again, it was just a really shaky start out of Geralt. He bled out so many workers in the process, delayed his own tech. GG gets called, and Tasia takes game number 1. GG. A solid game there at Tasia. And again, you can see just how much... you can see how much the map does influence things as well. Again, it doesn't take long for the army to move out. So Geralt, he could not engage ahead of time, or he wasn't able to engage ahead of time, wasn't able to slow down the army. And once he got across, that's GG. GG well played. With that amount of tank siege up, there was no answer, not anymore from Geralt. And with that, Tasia takes a lead. Does take a lead in the series, and now we're going to be loading into game number 2, going to be loading into Sylphid. Oh boy. But again, a solid game out of Tasia. And we'll see if Geralt can recover and bounce back. As spawning in the right hand corner, we have our Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. This time, rocking Brood War Protoss himself. It is a Geralt. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the SE2 Terran player. We have the Korean Terran. It is Tasia. Leading the series 1-0. Here we go. See someone asking in chat, how come they have those StarCraft 1 moving fast moving cars? If you're referring to the Vulture, this is not regular StarCraft 2. This is a mod. This is StarCraft Evolution. This is a mod that does bring together Brood War and SE2 and does pit them against each other in a 1v1 tournament format. That's why you do see different units here. That's why this is StarCraft 2 Terran this time. But Geralt, he is playing Brood War Protoss, so he will not have access to Stalkers. He'll have Zealots, but different kinds of Zealots. He will have Dragoons, of course. He'll have Corsairs, Scouts. We'll see how he does open up. It is very standard to go for a Reaver-based opener and go for Reaver drops. But again, we'll see how Geralt does explore things. We'll see how he does indulge. We'll see if he does go for something more standard or something more exploratory instead. I feel like some of the two common openers we have in this matchup are either Reaver-based openers or fast Zealot legs. Classic has been quite fond of that, if you recall, going into a faster Citadel, into Zealot legs, into a very gateway-heavy composition to be aggressive across the map. But we'll see what Geralt goes for. For now, welcome to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top side, left side, and right side. So you can see Geralt scouting bottom right, and so is Tasia. They're both scouting in the same direction, and they'll both find that they haven't found each other, and they can deduce, of course, the location of the other. Of their opponents. Geralt pokes in. So does Tasia. Thanks. Can we also play the mod? Yeah, the mod is on Battle.net. It's in the arcade. There's a version of the mod in every region. As a heads up, of course, I believe there is a beta version of the latter. I believe it's still in beta, like it's still in the works, but I believe that is accessible to you if you wish. Otherwise, you will just have to host custom lobbies, and find people to play against, to compete against. But yes, is available on the arcade. As Geralt will zone away. Zone behind this, getting into a zone Dragoon range. So far, just a Dragoon-based opener. So far, so good. Geralt does set up a proxy pylon across the map, and we'll see if he does make use of it. This can, of course, help scout the main attack path. So he's moving out. Once again, hoping to get some damage here at the natural. And we'll see if we get into something a little bit different. As so far, we have a 1-1-1 out of Tasia. Okay. Does open 1-1-1. Earlier Cyclone, just for defense. From here, we can go for drop play. From here, we can go into Widowmines. We can go into Hellions. Actually going straight into an earlier tank. Very early tank here out of Tasia. Cyclone does lock on. Zoning back to Dragoons. Dragoon range is still on the way. And behind this, actually not going for the Robo, not going for the Bay, but is instead going for the Citadel. Okay. I mean, we mentioned earlier at the start of this game how we do often see two common builds, either getting into Reaver drops or getting into fast Zealot legs, and it looks like the Zealot legs are going to be the answer here, going into a gateway-heavy composition. Working towards that Citadel. Likewise, 1-1-1, not just tank, but tank Banshee here out of Tasia. Can't get out of hand. Cyclone locking on. Does lock on. Bunker taking a lot of hits. Marines are going to be exposed. And so far, nice damage. Denying mining time, forcing the repairs. Hasn't lost any Dragoons yet. Has been able to break those lock-ons. No major damage. But every little bit does add up. Oh, meanwhile, the tank does get caught here. Does get caught in the cocoon. Tank slowly breaks out. Oof. And it does break out. Tasia is secure. And I'm a little bit concerned here about the lack of detection. You'd have to jump through some hoops here, and there we go. We have the observatory on the way. First Banshee will now hit the natural. We'll hit the main. And there's not much in position. Unfortunately, we have a wave of Zealots in production, not a wave of Dragoons. Banshee does hit the main base. Geralt, he's racing back home. Remember, there's no recall. And this is getting a bit out of hand. 3, 4, 5 probe kills. 5 probes in the main. So our leg's almost done. No, Geralt with the intercept. Let's go. Up! Gets a couple of volleys off. Observer has arrived. And the Banshee looks like may just barely go down. One more shot. Uno más, papi, uno más. Up! Oh my god. Does take it down. Nicely done. And looks like we are setting up a buyer. Yeah, we're getting into a buyer tank setup. Third CC is on the way. Likewise, Girl claiming his own third and now working towards his own Reavers as well. Didn't rush into a Reaver drop or anything of the sort, but that is going to be a splash damage of choice. As Tasia is set up back at home. He is set up, he is secure, he is expanding. And despite going into mech in game 1, here is embracing fire. Throwing down more Raxes. Just setting up. So the Banshee does hit the mineral line. Once again, 5 more dead workers. Again, harassment here can be brutal in this matchup. Just to wind it back, but again, for those that maybe haven't seen the mod before, but there's no warp-in mechanic, right? So there's no reactive warp-ins. There's no recall. So moments like this can be brutal as he takes down the Reaver. Reaver goes down. More probe kills as well. Unfortunately, the side defense is a little bit too late. The cannons are finishing up, but by the time they do, already 12 worker kills. 12 workers and the Reaver. And he's still not done. He's still not quite done. Yeah, 15, 16 probes going down. This one Banshee may have just won Tasia the game, by the way. That is critical damage. For the one Banshee to get a full mineral line. Meanwhile, speaking of, another Banshee does hit the main. And Geralt, he just cannot keep up, or he just didn't have units in position. Geralt, for those who are curious, he was across the map. He was trying to contain his opponent. He was trying to delay the third base, but he gets punished for it. As he's trying to rotate back and forth. Trying. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a pause. Tasia now expanding, now claiming his own third base. Behind this just building up, and again, Tasia does have a very comfortable lead at this point. He's ahead economically, likewise is building up a greater army. There's still a chance here for Geralt. Thankfully, he does have some Reavers, so with some well-placed Reaver shots, he can still take a fight, but there's going to be a lot riding on his Reavers, and also a lot riding on engaging outside of range of the tanks, or getting a surround. Getting a run by going. For the time being, Tasia's looking very secure as he's just turtling up. The Banshees are still not done. They're still not done, but yeah. This also emphasizes the importance of site defense for Brutal Protoss. Cannons, shield batteries, leaving supply back at home as well. And we try to emphasize that like map awareness and map control is even more important for the brutal races, and site defense as well. Just to help in these kind of situations, just to buy time. So still getting more economic damage. As Girl does rotate, the tank line not quite in position. Does not force his way through. And this going for a second robo. Claiming more expansions. So scout shots going off. Oh! Ooh, nice connections. Does connect well. And Tasia, the splits are not there. And this is what we spoke about. Like, this is where Geralt can recover, where he can make up for his earlier losses. Geralt is still behind. Like, this is a nice start, but he still needs more. He still needs more. as Tasia moves out. She does move out across the map. Ooh, does catch a shuttle. Shuttle goes down. Reavers are massing. Another Reaver under fire. Getting quite low. No, they're so slow. And remember, the shuttle went down. So limited control here for the Reavers. They're going to be targeted down. Gets one. There's 4 Reavers left. Only 3 with Scarabs. Same Armor Marines, they do peel up. They head into the mineral line. Geralt not quite in position. Getting caught out in the open. Yeah, the Reavers having a hard time keeping up with the rotations, and Dragoons are falling. Geralt just getting pulled apart. Tanks a little bit late to siege. A little bit late. Tanks are going down. But so is the rest of the army. Yeah, so is the rest of the army here. Tasia is stimming on forward. Dragoons on their own. They're so vulnerable. Reavers as well. The one cloak Banshee. Aye. Unfortunately, no detection. The Banshee just getting free damage. Takes down another Reaver. Down to 2. Yeah, 2 Reavers remaining. Hey, just stimming in. I mean, the army's just zoned away by the Banshee. Scarab's trying to go up. Get some okay connections, but nah, we're just gonna target them down. Yeah, it does target them down, and Tasia, he has done it. He has broken the back of Geralt. Again, the Banshee harass was just brutal, and GG gets called. Tasia will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Tasia, as it does claim the series. Again, winding it back here, as a reminder, we had one Banshee that got 16 probes. He got 16 probes and a Reaver. Like, the Banshee harass was brutal time and time again. Geralt, he was just punished for being too active on the map, punished for not having units in position, and punished for just not being ready back at home. And as we pointed out, like, if you're out of position, if you don't have that defensive setup, then it can be difficult to keep up, whether it's with Banshee harass, whether it's with other key units like Raven harass, drop play as well. It can excel here in this matchup, and with that, GG. GG well played. Tasia will claim the series and will advance on into the quarterfinals, where he will have his next opponents. Up next, we do have a TBT, I believe, a Terran versus Terran. I know that Tasia has been playing a lot with Protoss as of late, at least Brutal Protoss, but we're getting into Tasia versus Dice. Dice being the Korean Terran player. In my mind, I want to say these two players are quite close in skill, quite similar. They both have their strengths, they both have their weaknesses, but we'll see how they compare. We shall see. Yo, shout out to Big Mac in the chat. Let's go. And all the others as well. I see Leon as well. Helgi. Bienvenidos. Baby Lings as well. Setsuna. Psychons. Bienvenidos. As we're getting to our fresh best of 3. Set up the players. Beautiful. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran making his debut, I want to say, in the StarCraft Evolution League proper tournaments, as he's been mainly showcased in show matches and invitationals, but it is Dice. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. It is Tasia. We go. Again, we'll see how the two do compare as we're getting into our TBT. When it comes to the rest of the matches here tonight, we do have the SEC versus Horn Mono, which again, the SEC has also been playing some Protoss, and we have Rebellion versus Rare Breed as well. So we will have some Zerg representation. I'm not too certain if 3-Point competed in this week's tournament, maybe just a little bit less active here this week. Likewise, my heart goes out to Quanta. He's been absent for quite some time. I know that, again, there was some certain tragedies like IRL for Quanta, and so we've seen a little bit less of him. But much love, much love. Hopefully everything's okay. From the side of Senor Quanta. Much love. As for now, we have our double gas. For now, we do have our double gas openers all around for both Dice and Tasia. from here we're going to be settling in. So far, mirrored builds again. Double gas means faster factory, means delayed CC. So both players are mirroring each other. I'm curious to see if we see Tasia embrace mech again. I'm curious to see if Dice embraces mech as well. Again, we haven't really seen too much of... Actually, I think this is the first time we're casting Dice in TVT. We featured him in the show match, of course, against Shin, and we featured Dice in the SEL Masters number 4 as well, but that was mainly against Protoss, if I recall correctly. So yeah, we haven't seen much of Dice. I think this might be the first time we're covering Dice's TVT, actually. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. This is going to be our first time. Let's see, Tasia plays SC2 again. He does not. Tasia plays StarCraft Evolution. For those who are curious, Tasia, he showed up like a month ago, maybe? Around a month ago, maybe like 3 weeks to a month ago at this point. And Tasia, he has been competing, but again, he only competes in StarCraft Evolution. It's similar to Su. Like, for those that are curious, Su, he's been competing again, but only in StarCraft Evolution, only in Invitationals. I want to say that Su, he did compete in the Enki Epic Series against Tasia a couple of days ago. He played a best of 9. Played a best of 9 with Tasia. But yeah, just StarCraft Evolution. Is this Tasia? The old... yes. See, papi, see. The Prince of Summer himself. It's beautiful. As behind this, we're going for extra ranks, so Tasia is going to be playing Bio. Let's go. No mech. I was curious. He baits out the mine shot. Nice, starting a dive. Back at home does go for the tech lab. It goes for a cyclone opener into early tank, into early drop play. So Dice is going to be the aggressor. And here we go. Here he comes. As he loads up and zooms across the map. We'll see if Tasia can keep up. As Dice does make his way towards the main. Tasia back at home, securing himself. Getting to bio, getting into medic production as well. Stim is on the way. And isn't quite in position to defend. Yeah, not quite. Vulcan is brutal. Vulture goes down. Nice pickup. Delay some of the production. Asia is trying to keep up. So far as zones away. As he gets distracted, there's going to be an opening here at the natural. Reavers, they move in, but the tank's in position, and the tank does punish. Oof. Yeah, just barely. Nice done by Tasia. Likewise, he's ready here at the natural as well. Stim is outdone. And Dice will get out. He will pull out. He does get a full scout of the main base. He's fully aware of the pyre. He sees the 3-rack setup. And he backs off. Looking for another way in. Once again, Dice just abusing his mobility here in the Brutal versus StarCraft 2 matchup. Still rallying across the map. Behind this, going for a third CC. So he is expanding. He's not going all in, but his goal here should be to contain. To contain the Terran. Up! Oh, Macho goes off. Brutal connection. Tank does survive. Dice is ready. Yeah, he's set up outside. Brutal tank shots going off. Tasia getting punished. Tasia, he has to retreat. Here he pulls away, still waiting for his own marine range to finish up. Thankfully, Dice also getting into bio. Getting into his 5 Raxes. Endurance Matrix is done. Throwing down the disables though. And Dice, he will take this fight. He breaks through the tanks, breaks through the bio, and he will clean everything up. Just a really brutal fight here for Tasia. And Dice, he breaks through. He breaks through, and there's nothing to stop him. There's one tank, there's a handful of Marines. There's a tank further back. But Tasia is being bullied back here. Not just being contained, but being forced further into his own natural. Again, just some really rough engagements into siege tanks. Akbar's dropping towards the main. And just bullying Tasia apart. Tasia scans. He does see the third CC is already done. Boys are being pulled. It's going to be a rough break out here from Tasia, but he will break through. Yeah, he gets a tank. Oh god, but there's still more. There's still more tanks. Auto tower gets thrown down. SCV is going to be falling. Takes down one more tank. But again, these trades are brutal for Tasia. They are brutal. Wedge rotates into the main. Into the main base. Trying to get within range of the production. Now behind this, Tasia is getting his third base on location. Cheeky move out of Tasia. We'll see if he can get away with it. We'll see if he can survive, as again, Dice is not stopping. He's still just rallying everything across the map. He's not stopping, not slowing down. Tasia once again, he pulls a couple of boys to break out. Oh, there's the disable. And once again, Dice does target fire. Goes to the rings, takes down the tank. Takes down one of the tanks. Still attempting to rally. I mean, Tasia, he's holding on at least for the time being. Oh god, there's just so many Marines here, and he's finally getting on top of the tanks. And this time there's no answer. This time there are no boys being pulled. There's no buffer. That's what's been keeping Tasia in this, is pulling the boys. Not anymore. I see we'll lose another 3 tanks. Dice once again moving in. Sims on the final tank. Brings it down. And with that, GG gets called. Dice, he breaks through. He breaks Tasia, and Dice takes a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, just a really rough start from Tasia. We were referring to it earlier, bleeding out a lot of buy, bleeding out a lot of units as he did move out to get caught by those tanks. Unfortunately, he was unaware. He was unaware of Dice's position originally, and he just took some really rough trades, and from there, everything just snowballed out of control. Dice, he was unrelenting. He didn't really let up. He just kept on pushing, kept on going, was able to get tanks here and there, Marines here and there, and yeah, just crippled Tasia over time. GG. GG, well played. With that, Dice does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can close the series out. We'll see if Tasia can force the ace match. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, now the Brood War Terran player. Leading the series 1-0, it is Dice. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Terran player, the StarCraft 2 Terran, the returning Terran himself. Down in the series, can he force the ace match? It is Tasia. Here we go. Now, for those who are curious when it comes to the format, just because it looks like there might be some newer viewers in the chat in regards to StarCraft Evolution, it is loser's pick when it comes to whether they commit to one race or the other. So last game, Dice was SC2 Terran, Tasia was Brood War Terran, and coming into game 2, because Tasia lost game 1, he did pick StarCraft 2. So he's now going to be able to play StarCraft 2 Terran, and he's forcing Dice into Brood War Terran. Again, it's always one versus the other. It's never a mirror matchup. It's never SC2 versus SC2. It's never Brood War versus Brood War, at least not in StarCraft Evolution. At least not in StarCraft Evolution League. As the mod is StarCraft Evolution, this tournament is StarCraft Evolution League, and there are other tournaments out there that do allow for that sort of thing. They do allow for mirror matchups like Kung Fu Cup, and also some show matches as well. They also do allow that. But here it is always strictly one versus the other. As well, going on to Vermeer. Vermeer is a ported Brood War map from many years ago. It is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, top left, bottom left, and bottom right as well. So both players are scouting for each other, and once again, both players scout in the same direction. They will check top right of Vermeer. Behind this, we do have a 3-rack setup here out of Dice, likewise 3-rack setup out of Tasia. We have a bit of a Spider-Man meme. Both players going into fast stim, both players going into an early mass marine stim timing. Oh boy. But of course, different eras, different generations of build. So from here, we should be working towards the academy. Obviously, the big advantage here that DICE is going to have is the ability to get into medics. When it comes to production and when it comes to supportive units as well for bio, the academy does allow you to make fire bats and make medics early on. Meanwhile, from the side of the SE2 Terran player, you have to wait until your factory, you have to wait until your starboard is done to get into any kind of support, to get into those medevacs. As Marines are amassing from both sides. There's the academy on the way. As we did mention, the academy is for stim and the academy is for medic production. Meanwhile, they have scattered each other. They're both aware it is going to be cross spawn, it is going to be diagonal spawn locations, so longest rush distance possible here on Vermeer. This will deter like aggressive play. Does mean the defender has that much more time to set up a defense, to build up back at home. There we go, Tech Lab is on the way, so Tasia can get into his own stim. Academy's almost done. Just not finishing. And there's stim. Stim is now on the way. Fast eBay for +1. And again, this is going to be a strong stim timing here out of DICE. Likewise, Tasia doing the same in his own way. Also getting to stim. As there we go, medic production has begun. And again, as we mentioned, as we were trying to emphasize at the start of this game, like this is the big advantage here of the Broodwar side of things, is to go into these medics, to have that support already. So medics are joining the fray. It does mean that DICE can stim a little bit more freely. Tasia scouts, yep, he confirms the medics, he confirms the bio army, he sees the move out. Tasia is setting up back at home. We already have the bunker is done, factory is going to be on the way. Marines, they do rotate, they get in position. Oh, we have optic flare being researched, let's go. I want to say the first time, I want to say like some of the first weeks of StarCraft Evolution is when we saw the most out of optic flare, especially in TVP. It was amazing. But it's a rare upgrade nowadays, unfortunately. Like, especially now that the meta has settled and certain builds have been more effective than others. Cancels. Never mind. Speaking of, cancels optic flare, does get into 238 shells. That is Marine range. Range for the Marines. You know what, DICE, he does. Oh, stim prematurely. There we go, does stim in. Does stim in, but he's up against a bunker, and with that, Tasia, he will hold. He will hold on, he will defend. Again, he has the defender's advantage. He has the bunker to work with him. He can pull the boys to repair. And DICE is deflected. So far, so good. It's like, yes, sure, DICE has medics, but he's up against a bunker of all things. So Tasia holds behind this, getting into the main base. Third TC is on the way. Tasia getting into a 3-1-1 setup. Combat shields, add-on swap, and medevacs are on the way. Tasia just weathering the storm. As the Marine of the bio army does get caught, does get shut down. Nice, does race back. And from here, I'm going to be favoring Tasia's position. DICE is still working on his third TC, still getting up to that halfway mark. Tasia's going to be the first to expand. Ideally, Tasia's going to want to contain DICE, contain him, and keep him 2 bases for as long as possible. Speaking of, third base now on the way, but Tasia is moving out. Let's go. Irradiate is being researched. Science facility is done. Look at the vessels on the way. As Tasia, he's searching for the third. He's rotating over. Does scan, does spot the army. Tasia, he has the high ground. Quick reminder as well is we do have high ground advantage here in StarCraft Evolution. There is a percentage chance to miss if you do attack up into high ground or into like shrouded areas. That's where these kind of cliff faces, so that's where these hills, these points of elevation do actually come into play. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect the high ground back. True, true. Stages maneuvering in. Both armies, they miss each other. Yeah, Dicey scans his head towards the third base of Tasia. At the same time, Tasia heads towards the third base of Dice. There are some tanks sieged up, but they're a little bit further behind. They're a little bit further back. As the armies, they might just clash. And they run in. Tasia trying to send one forward. Does catch the medics, not bad. Okay, medics are getting picked off. Nice targets there from Tasia. Does catch the medics, science vessel moving in. Oh. Speaking of, there's the irradiates. Nice splits. Nice splits around Tasia. Tanks now are going to be moving out. Tasia commits with the entire army. Does rally across. Bearing in mind that for the Zacurus, irradiate does run out when the target dies. That's the downside of using irradiate on Marines, is that Marines have a very low health pool. As Tasia is moving in. So here we're holding on to the irradiate. We are holding on. Marines moving in, tanks they do zone. Nice splits. Nice splits out of Tasia. Bearing in mind you can opt to kill your own unit as well to just get rid of irradiate. As Tasia's getting into the middle line, SCV's going to be going down. Losing 10, 12, 13 SCVs, late to pull away. Yeah, very late out of dice. And again, he has been outpositioned. More tanks pushing forward. Going for the defense matrix. Does save the tank. Mio, we just drop into the main. Yeah, we're going for the doom drop. Tank is caught off guard. The rest of the army just completely out of position. Oh, dig another radiate though. Oh, brutal damage. Oh my god. Yeah, no splits. No splits whatsoever. Dice, he will hold, he will defend, he will clean up the main. But not without losing more SCVs. Gonna be 10 more workers going down. Oh no! Ooh, medevac does fall. Does not escape. Tasia trying to rush in. And the tanks are left on their own, left unattended. Takes down 1, 2, takes down almost 3 tanks. Yeah, third tank goes down, takes down the mineral line. And this was very costly from Tasia. He played out all of his fire. He might lose the entire army, but he does deny the base. He denies the base, denies expansion. 21 SCV kills, behind this getting a 4th CC on location. Tasia taking more bases. He can afford these trades. He can afford these losses. And he has maintained his tank count. Tank count is still solid. Dice trying to go for a counterattack. Tasia, he does notice. Yeah, he does notice. Does cut him off. Tasia has the full mag. As he's being collapsed upon. Yeah, Dice takes the fight. Cleans up the tank. Does keep pushing. And Tasia is racing back home. Tanks are left unattended. There's the Unsiege. Tasia setting up. Dice claiming his 4th. Again, Dice took a lot of economic damage. Despite that, still has a very high science vessel count. Like, he's built it up over time. Does find the planetary. We get the mesh repair. Jesus. Planetary does stand strong. Back at home, Tasia defends. He preserves the tanks, true. Looking at the unit stat, we have 7 tanks to 4. A couple of Liberators in the mix. Couple of Libs. Lore production has begun. I mean, that's going to help against the science vessels. True. Will help. Ooh, and he's going for the 3rd. Sorry, he's going for the 4th. And unlike Tasia, there's no planetary. There's no planetary. Not here. Nice, irradiates, very nice. Getting a lot of damage dealt to the army. A lot of splash damage. Really, Tasia just holding the line, just zoning away the army, and the CC is going to go down. That's going to be 11 SCVs and the command center. That's what's brutal about this map. That's what's brutal about this position. It's just a very isolated expansion. This one goes down. Nice target firing at Tasia. As you mentioned, you can kill your own marine. You can focus it down. Or split. You have the option. As Tasia, he's now maxed out, and again, a big reason for this is just the economy. The untouched third base, the fourth base, now the fifth base on the way as well. Economically, Tasia's just getting out of hand. He's getting out of control. And DICE just cannot keep up. Know the economy of Tasia. Tasia moving in. Despite the defense magic, yeah, it doesn't matter. There's just an overwhelming army here. It takes on both tanks. Sends on forward. Goes to the CC. He does out damage the repair. And DICE cannot keep up. Doors have arrived. And he breaks through the siege line. Yeah, behind this, there's nothing left. There's, what, 2 tanks, a couple of science vessels. They have limited energy. Plenty of marines, but he cannot push into the tanks. Tasia slowly pushing forward. Does get another tank. There's 1 tank left. 1 more on the low ground. Just decent irradiate. But the tanks are set. Yeah, the tanks are sieged. DICE, he pulls the boys, tries to break out. It's not going to be pretty. He does break through the Thors. And barely cleans up the tanks. He's going to be down to 56 SCVs here. Does save, or does replace the expansion. Double expanding even. Taking his 3rd and 4th. DICE is hanging in there. He's holding on. But the problem here is that, again, DICE is fighting for his life. He's fighting for his bases. Meanwhile, Tasia's been chilling. Like, Tasia, again, his bases have been left untouched the entire game. More mineral lands up and running, more efficient mining, and with that, almost instantly remaxes. He's rebuilt, he's remaxed. DICE trying to hold his own. I mean, he can still take a fight, especially if he does catch the army unsieged. Brutal EMP. Yeah, EMP on the science vessel. Speaking of, that is the only one. We just got a 2nd vessel now popping out. Again, that's been the other big factor keeping DICE in these games. Has been the high vessel counts, but that's not the case, not anymore. It's one. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God, where are the splits? Oh my God. The evading was brutal. All the marines go down. Tanks are left unattended, and thanks to that 1 irradiate, DICE, who will take the fight. Where were the splits, Bappy? Where were the splits? And DICE holds. Let's go. The power of the 1 irradiate. I say the power of the 1 irradiate. The power of also not being able to split in time and not being able to avoid the irradiate damage. Tasia did panic. As DICE is holding on. He's holding. He's got 1 more irradiate. Uno más, papi. Uno más. Tasia does rotate. Ooh, does not quite get the EMP. So Ghost goes down. Liberation's being set up. Nice defense matrix, saves the tank. Takes down both liberators. As Tasia rotates, does find a free tank. The other downside here is that, again, there's going to be a little bit less energy here for the radiates. 1 does connect. Tasia does split. This time he splits nicely. Oof. Yeah, this radiation dude just playing at the army. And once again, the splits are not quite there. Does kill his own marine towards the end. And likewise, stemming forward. Does push into a siege line. A brutal trade here for Tasia. And bleeds out a lot of marines. But he barely breaks through, takes out one of the tanks. Still not the cleanest trade. But still just rattling. Still just rattling everything across the map. Dice is back up to a 4-base economy. Okay. He's built back up. Oh, but Dice is cornered. Yeah, he's cornered. Marines, they stim in. Oh, the medics are on their own. And medics are going down. The mineral line goes down as well. We spoke about it, but this base is so difficult to defend. As boys are being pulled. Leading out more SCVs, but hey, it does take down some of these tanks. But GG finally gets called, and Tasia, he will take game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Tasia does tie things up, and we are going to the ace match. Whew. We're going to game 3. Again, very intense back and forth. But as we mentioned, for the most part, Tasia, he was able to gain map control and he never let it go. The initial opener of Dice kind of fell on its face. If you remember, he went for a stim timing, which he tried to break the bunker. He failed to do so, he fell behind, tried to get into a third base. But again, Tasia did the best he could to delay the third base, to apply pressure, and to maintain that map control. At no point were the bases of Tasia ever under any real threat. We saw some attempted run-bys, some attempted counterattacks with the planetaries. They held their own. Planetaries, they held their own, and with that, GG well played. We are going to the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. So getting into game number 3. Cecil Ensvard and the Pope in the chats. Is this Tasia? Yes, it is ex-Liquid Tasia. He's been back for, again, it's been, I think, a month. I think he's been back for a month or so. Either like a month or like 3 weeks, something like that. But we have been covering him, and here we go. We're getting into the ace match. Oh, we're getting into game 3, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran himself, the South Korean Terran, being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is Dice. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. Tying up the series, it is Tasia. Go. I should also emphasize as well, as we were just notified by Hyper One that apparently Tasia is only going to be back for a time. It looks like he's waiting for, it sounds like, what, the exams to be done for his civil service, and then I would imagine he would enter the workforce in some way. So it looks like Tasia is only playing just while he has a little bit of free time before, you know, taking that next step in his life. So we have to appreciate Tasia while we can. While we can. So now, once again, we have a double gas opener out of Dice, double gas out of Tasia. I should also emphasize that Dice, after losing that last game, he has switched to SE2 Terran. It does feel like both of them have been fighting for SE2 Terran, which makes sense. Again, like its mobility is paramount, right? It's unrivaled, at least in this TVT matchup. Again, it's really a mirror matchup in name only. Like, the races themselves work very differently. They share some similar units, but again, their dynamic is very different, as you've been seeing. It's difficult to kind of wrangle map control away from your opponent, away from the StarCraft 2 Terran. But we'll see how players will approach this. Meanwhile, we do have a straight up 1-1. Okay, a straight up 1-1-1 out of Tasia. No CC, no expand. Very committed, very dedicated here on one base. Oh, Reaper does get in, and Reaper gets a full scout. He gets a full scout. He does get eyes on the starport. Tasia, he fails to deny the block or to deny the scout. Ay. So a slip up there out of Tasia, and of course Dice is now aware of how much danger he's going to be in. And does Tasia commit to, okay, I was going to say, is he going to commit to a one-base all-in? The answer is no. He's going for a delayed CC after the starport. Go. Anyone miss Polt? Nesty, MC, MVP. I mean, MC is back, to be fair, so if you want to watch MC, like, his games are out there as well. We actually, we casted a show match with MC at the start of the year, if you recall. He competed in an SE Evo show match as well. So the boss toss is back in some capacity. For those that maybe aren't following ASL or Brood War, MC, he plays a little. I mean, he's been willing to compete in StarCraft Evolution and to play in show matches, but MC's been devoting a little more time to Brood War this year. To Brood War. Alongside True. MMA. If you want to catch up with MMA, he had an interview with Zombrugov recently that was uploaded to the GLHF YouTube channel. So it was really fun to catch up with MMA again. But he was interviewed. And he's been posting on social media as well. MMA, after seeing Impact, he was motivated to hit the gym again, so he's been working out. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. As we have it, Tasia dipping into the bases, does open up Wraith. Okay, so I was curious what the 1-1-1 was going to be here for, but does go for a Wraith base opener. Takes down one SCV. Doesn't get too much damage done though. Again, ooh, as he's being chased down by the Cyclones. A big investment and both Wraiths go down. Ay, that was not worth it here. 2 Wraiths for a couple Marines, 2 Wraiths for an SCV as well. Bearing in mind that Tasia also researched Cloak, so there was a bigger investment here into those Wraiths than normal. Speaking of, another Wraith has arrived, but so far has yet to really pay for itself. As Tasia is going to be zoned away. But yes, MMA, he was interviewed in Korea. It's cool to see him again. As behind this, we're getting to our own bio setup, not mech. Let's go. We're just getting into his own 2-base tank, 2-base bio tank. Jeez, the Wraith just tickles SCVs. The repairs are enough to keep the SCV alive. As the Wraith pokes in. And is doing what he can. Oh god. Yeah, from here the Wraith gets cleaned up. Dicey does push across the map. Gaining map control, containing his opponents. And so far Tasia is going to be stuck on 2 bases. And has not yet started a 3rd. He's contained on 2 bases. Building up his science vessels. Tank spinning him back. Within range of the bunker. From here he's within range. Inverse Matrix has been researched, likewise so has Irradiate. And we'll see if Tasia can break out. Meanwhile, as Tasia is being contained, Dice gets a 3rd. Gets a 3rd base on location. And again, just taking advantage of that map control, looking to get further ahead economically. Liberation has arrived as well. Tasia does go for the breakout though. Yeah, he does commit. There's the Irradiate. Dust in forward. Tank's a little bit late to siege. It's going to be close here, but it looks like Tasia, does he have enough? Oh, he'll lose all the Marines. Yeah, all the Marines go down, and Tank's going to be falling as well. Dicey breaks on through. He breaks through the siege line, and Dicey cleans up the army. From here, he can just keep on going. He can just keep on pushing. There's 1 tank remaining. Tasia barely not enough. Boys are being pulled. Oh, and he will chase back the Vikings. We'll chase him back. A bit of an awkward setup here from Dice. Does siege. Tasia, he's surviving. He's holding on, just barely. Vikings, they hunt down the science vessel. Trying to bait the army within the range of the tanks. Oof. The volley goes off. Another volley goes off. Tasia being forced back. Also, I could be crazy. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Nesty was playing SE Evolution as well, right? I'd have to in the streamer showdown. But here we go. Tasia, he breaks out. He does spin forward. Vikings a little bit late to land, but they do land in time despite that tanks are cleaned up. And Tasia, he holds. Whew. He holds. He takes on the tank line behind this, claiming his own third base. Tasia trying to break out. Under breakouts. Tasia still being active. West Ice dropping into the main. Ooh, meanwhile, Tasia not quite in position. SCV's going to be going down. He's at 5 SCVs. 5 workers falling. Thankfully, is able to zone away. Tasia pushing through the left-hand side. He did preserve his science vessels, if you recall. Barely did preserve them. So he's got massive radiates. The Young Prince does go off. There's the irradiate in the army. Oh my god! Yeah, shuts down the bio, shuts down the marines. The irradiate does so much. And Tasia breaks through. Does break through the main army at the same time. Double drop here into the natural. Tasia is paying attention. He's keeping up. Tasia, he's ready. Tasia, he is ready. He's secure. Nice, still zoning him away. Oof. Got more Marines. Jump back into the main. Tasia, he's set up. Tasia takes on the drop. A Wraith does help out with that. Tasia moving in. There's a defense matrix. Let's go. Does tank those tank shots. And nice engage from Tasia. Takes on the tanks. Breaks through the siege line. Oh good. Does take some brutal shots to the face, but does get the final tank. Now what's left? The boys are being pulled. That's where Radiant comes in. The punish. Oh my god. Wins one though. Yeah, the low HP Marine. This time the Radiates are less impactful. And they achieve a little bit less. Despite that, the Marines, they come in to reinforce just in time. 12 SCVs go down. And Tasia is breaking through. He does break through. Gets on top of the 4th base. No planetary. Not this time. Okay, there's no planetary. Marines being bullied back. Tasia is up in upgrades. He has +2. Yeah, +2 a little bit late here. 4 dice. As Tasia tries to hold his own. Barely is able to. And again, denies the 4th base. Behind this, getting his own. He's holding on. We do have once again Dice trying to go for triple plate. Jeez, completely caught out. Shout out to the, of course, Naga Tower in the center. As Tasia did spot the drop. Shuts him down, gains map control. Again, it's difficult to do so here with Brutal Terran, so impressive. As the game is slowing down. Again, it's been quite intense. Both players getting into 4 bases, both players building up. I will say that the science vessel count is a little bit lower now for Tasia. It's down to 3. Just gathering that energy. Likewise, going to be on the Vikings of Dice to zone away the science vessels. We saw that last game, Tasia was making use of Ghosts and EMPs. We have the Ghost Academy just now finishing up for Dice, so Ghosts are not quite ready yet. Oh. As the vessel does go down. Let's pick up out of Dice. Does catch the vessel. Going for another as well. Yeah, that second vessel taking a lot of damage. And it's gonna go down. Yeah, it does fall. Lands 1 irradiate. Gets some decent damage. Jesus. And Dice not quite in position here. And Tasia looking for a way in. Tanks there running into the siege line. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol here from Dice. Some rough army movement. Tanks are sieging. Tanks are sieging up. Does tank an EMP. Massive EMP on the medics. Yeah, the vessel goes down as well, but there's just an overwhelming bio-army here. Tasia breaks on through, breaks into the natural. And yes, Dice has his siege line, but it's out of position. He's out of position. He cannot protect the natural. Denies +3. Stims into the main. There's 1 tank in the main. And again, Dice, the army just, he cannot defend. And he's trying to rotate. Pushing into the bio-army, pushing into Tasia. Tasia breaking in. And he cancels production. He cancels production. Dice, he's supply blocked. Final tanks going down. And Tasia, he has done it again, just going right down mid, right into the heart of the Terran. Dice, oh, he still cannot push up the ramp. He cannot push up. He cannot get out of his third. And down goes the main. Down goes everything in the main base. And Slick moves out of Tasia. Dice, he is trapped. I mean, he can try to unsiege and go for a drop, but at this point it's too late. At this point the damage has been done. Losing the Raxes, the Ghost Academy. And he'll try to make his way back into his own main base. At this point, there's nothing left. There's just nothing in the main. This army for Tasia is trapped. There are no dropships, so he cannot get out outside of going through the ramp. So in that sense, Tasia, this army it's going to have a hard time escaping. That's a very nice EMP. Covers every single science vessel. But Marines, they break out, they kill the natural. They break down to low ground. Break down. Another radiate goes off. Radiate goes off, and again, Dice, he's coping a little bit. He's just because he's still supply blocked, right? After losing everything in the main base, he lost so many depots, he's still supply blocked, stuck at 100 supply. He just cannot get out of that. He's stuck at really 62, 99 at 62. So he just cannot produce. He's holding onto his bases. Again, it's hard to break a turtling Terran. Oh. Tasia stims in. Pushing into the tanks. Not going to be pretty here. Does try to force his way through. Comes in from behind. Gets a full surround. And he's done it. So GG gets called. And Tasia, he will take the series 2-1. Taking down Dice and advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Tasia. He will claim the series. A very intense back and forth, and even here in the final game, Dicey had his own strong moments, but Tasia, he was able to outposition. He was able to make use of his own science hustles quite nicely, punishing the army clumping up. We saw that Dice had a much harder time splitting his forces and avoiding that splash damage, more so than Tasia previously. And with that, GG. GG, well played. A really really solid performance there by Tasia. Does claim the series, does advance on to those semis. Congratulations. Oh boy, and we still have some more quarterfinals matches ahead of us here, of course. It's still as we're still going to be heading into the lower portion of the bracket. Up next, we have the STC versus Honmono. Again, if you're an old school fan of StarCraft, even older than Tasia, we have the STC. He was also a Korean Terran player. He retired back in Heart of the Swarm, and nowadays he's more of a caster. I'm going to be covering him against Homeowner here. Homeowner is going to be coming in as the favorite player, but really cool to see the SCC competing here. Again, the SCC, he did come back, I want to say at the end of last year. He came back around the end of last year, beginning of this year. Came back to competing specifically in StarCraft Evolution, and came back to casting and streaming in StarCraft Evolution tournaments as well. He streams over on Chijik, so fellow caster. Oh, let's go. I see Sophie to sub in the chats. Is this Liquid Tasia? Yes, yes. Is Tasia. He's been back for a little bit. For a couple of weeks to a month at this point. And he has been competing in StarCraft Evolution, but here we go. We're now getting into our next series, our next quarterfinals match. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon. Oh, I have to set this up. In the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran. It is Honmono. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Brood War Protoss player. Here he is. Typically he's Terran, but when it comes to Brood War, he is switching to Protoss. It is the STC. Let's go. There are certain players that they play SC2 as one race and Brood War as the other, and the SCC, he has been playing a lot of Brood War as Protoss. Bear that in mind that he's playing SC2 as Terran as he moves out with his first probe, with his first Pylon. Oh, cheeky build here out of the STC. Very cheeky. He also streams on YouTube if anyone wants to see his POV. Oh, there you go, Does also stream on YouTube. Thanks for letting us know, Apex. Thank you. The SC and Fruit Dealer got me into esports. Oh my god, that's quite sick. Again, we're big SCC fans here on the channel. I'm sure you've already heard the story, but the reason why our tournaments, our weekly open tournament, is called the Sparkling Tuna Cup is in reference to the STC. Has the same initials. STC Sparkling Tuna Cup. That is a reference that we do have to the STC. As Honmono does open up 3-vax. So 3-vax setup here from Honmono, going for his own double gas opener. And also, the reason why the mascot of that tournament is a tuna is a reference to Ryung. It's a to the Dongwon, back the Dongwon. So our tournament is a reference to the STC and to Ryung as well. All the references. As Honmono does open up 3-vax Reaper, so going mass Reaper here. At the same time, we're going for 1 gate back at home, 1 proxy across the map, going into Dragoon production. We'll see if the SSC can break through here. It's going to be an awkward defense, bearing in mind that Reapers are going to be a little more mobile. They can counterattack across the map. We're going to have half the production and proxied instead. Honmono, he does find the proxy. He's now aware. Likewise, the SCC, he has yet to confirm how many maxes there are. The poise are being pulled. I mean, it's going to be a short series. We got to embrace the mid game quite a bit between Tasia and Dice, but here, nah, it's going to be like a 15-minute best of 3. Let's go. Or 3 games, of course, as well. As he does dive on the Dragoon. Dragoon does kite back, but again, takes so much damage. And will be chased down. Yeah, the Dragoon will fall, so will the other. And again, half the production across the map will not help in the defense. And I don't think there is a way for the SSC to survive this. I don't think it's possible. As he will lose another Dragoon. There's going to be 1 Dragoon to defend. There's going to be the shield battery as well. The boys are being pulled. Let's go. The boys versus the boys. Dragoon has arrived. We have to save that. We have to save the Dragoon. Has to save it. Does kite back. Takes a lot of damage. Takes a lot of hits. Oh, the SCVs, they do go for the surround. They go, oh no, they go for the Dragoon. And it's going to fall. The shield battery, yeah, it's not done in time. It's not going to be able to help out. It's out of range. And with that, Homeowner, he has done it. He has done it. He has broken through. He will overwhelm with the Mass Reaper. Again, Homeowner, he's the cheesiest Terran player in all of South Korea. And he proves that here. He does go for the pylon. Will depower everything in the main. He's got 8 Reapers. He has 8 Reapers. Again, it was just, I would say, a hard counter. Just really unfortunate that we had the proxy here, specifically in this game, where Homeowner blindly went through Axe Reaper. With that, there is no defense. There is nothing at home. GG gets called, and Homeowner takes the lead in the series 1-0. GG. GG well played. Does take a lead, and we'll see if he can claim the series as well. Let's go. We'll see if he can claim it. As we are now getting into game number 2 here. And we're going to have a very different dynamic, very different matchup. As we mentioned, as we emphasized, the SEC does play Protoss when he plays Brood War, but here he is no longer playing Brood War. Here we go. We'll fix this up. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Homeowner. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran player, switching from Protoss to Terran for the SC2 side of things. From South Korea, it is the STC. Oh no, the Ursidon! No! How could you, Pappy? How could you? We're going for the proxy. Again, it's gonna be a short series. We're going for the proxy here, right dead set in the center of the map. As the SEC does not hold back. Behind this, opening up double gas. Bearing in mind that welcome one and all to Vermeer. Vermeer is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top left, bottom right, bottom left, and top right as well. So there are 4 possible spawn locations. That's why we are proxying right in the middle. And STC, he's gambling. He's gambling a little bit here, trying to figure out where his opponent is. You can see the rally towards top left. That is not where Homeowner does lie. But he will eventually find him. Eventually. Disqualified. The poor Ursidon. Leave the other one alone. Leave them alone. As we have the SCV scouting bottom left, it is going to be a 3-axe opener here out of Homeowner, and he's found. Yeah, the STC does find him.
Command center upgrade complete.
Does find him, does confirm, going for the proxy factory in the center. Again, it's going to be a 1-base all-in out of the SDC. Reaper is rallying forward. And Reaper does rally in. We have Mass Marine on the way here from Homeowner. Mass Reaper. So far, 1, soon to be 2. Oh, just the one SCV does go down. The build is scouted. We have the Academy on the way. Again, Homeowner going for the classic 3-axe mass or 3-axe stim. We've seen it before already here in tonight's broadcast in the Dice vs. Tasia series. On Vermeer as well, actually. True. As one Reaper does fall, and what are we going into here? We're going for the proxy tank. Let's go! Proxy tank, reactor marine. I'd assume. The tank is being proxied. Starport being proxied. Just everything. Just everything's out on the map. It's all over the place. Let's go. From here, we can proxy Viking to land into the mineral line. Curious if we go for an add-on. As the first tank has arrived. Starport is done. Going proxy Liberator, not proxy Viking. Scans top left, scans top right. Does confirm the yard, does confirm the base. And now he's aware. Yeah, now he's aware of the proxy. Nice spread here by Whole Mono, getting on top of the tank. And he does get on top of the Unsiege just in time. Does Unsiege. Whole Mono hiding in the tall grass. And Whole Mono, he's setting up. He's setting up, he does pre-pull the boys. Actually does pull the boys to break the siege line. Oh, bold move here by Whole Mono, being a little more proactive. Stim is done. Stim is done, he's going for the spread. It's going to be close. Rushing on forward. Takes down the Marines. Gets on top of the first tank. And he will get it. Yeah, first tank goes down. Second tank as well. The Marines are very, very low. But they hunt down the tank. Just barely bring it down. Came the production. And the SEC is up against the wall here. Does barely get away. Trying to save that final tank. Ooh, nice spread by Whole Mono. Lose a Marine. But forcing friendly fire. Takes down the tank though. Takes down the tank. Takes down the Marines. And Whole Mono looks like he may have just done it. At the same time, Liberator does get across the map into the mineral lines. Nice. Came with the production. He does camp. Still rallying forward. Liberator is mining. Oh. As the SC does escape with a couple of key units here. Escapes with a medevac, a Marine, a tank. Back at home, he doesn't really have much to defend. He's going to have one production building. Oh, as the factory's being chased down. Meanwhile, this Liberator is denying so much mining time here in the main. Finally goes down. Factory does catch fire. Still hunting down the factory. Now, this is giving time for our Terran player to build up. He's got his tank on the high ground. He's getting a factory, sorry, getting a Rex as well. He's slowly rebuilding his production. The SEC getting back in this. Mining is being denied. Whole Mono, he does pull the boy. Jesus. Pulls them far away. Liberators are being dealt with. And the game will settle. Despite the chaotic start, the game is going to calm down. We have Whole Mono moving out. And we have the SEC setting up. No, Whole Mono. Oh my god, they've both done it today. This game. Jesus. Whole Mono, you're an animal. Ay, ay, ay. These Terran players, like, what the hell? There is no good Terran. They don't exist. Smurge. As Whole Mono does stim into the mineral line. Alas, the bunker, the tanks will punish. Jesus, Whole Mono throwing everything away. That was not it. He does try to commit. From here, that was 16 Marines. That was 3 medics for what? For 1 SCV. 1 SCV and 1 medevac. That was not worth it. And the SSC is back in this. Like, despite the shaky start, despite losing the proxy, takes a beautiful fight back at home. Third CC is almost done. And the SSC does take a lead. Genio wouldn't get true. Genio, yes. He's too pure for us. Yo, that's a... We haven't seen Genio in a while. Feels Genio, man. It's been a while. I don't think Genio ever played StarCraft Evolution, right? I'm not sure if he did. just rotate. Ginny is the good one. Someone who does hit the third. Gets an SCV. Homeowner pulls away. Yeah, pulls away. Still building up. Still quite tense between the two players. Still very tense. As you have Biotank versus Biotank. Siege mode is being researched, getting into 1-1 upgrades. Homeowner, of course, he's shocking around looking for an opening. And he does barely miss the medevac. Does want it. Does stim. Up! Does scan. Takes down the medevac. Not bad. Medevac goes down. 3-point going for another drop. Likewise, that was spotted by the scan. Homeowner getting in position. It's getting in position back at home. The SCC does boost past. Oh, does try to. And barely. Oh no, the turret. The turret's in position. Medevac goes down. Brutal pickoff. And these drops have not been worth it. They've not been worth it for the STC. Using both medevacs. The main army does push through. Homeowner, he is skirting the edge of the map. The edge. Likewise pushing into tank range and gets punished for it. And brutal losses here for Homeowner, bleeding out his bio army. Yes, he does take the center fight. Bearing in mind the Homeowner's tank count is actually very low. He's very marine heavy. He's got 2 tanks. Only 2, only 1 factory. Making 1 tank at a time. Does run into the SCC. Once again, they're pushing into tank fire. He cannot take that fight. The SCC pulling away. He's had a lot of Marines. And we see Homeowner trying to collapse on the army. Oh. Getting on top of the tanks. Gets 1. Takes down 1, and Homeowner, he should barely have... no, never mind. He's got 2 Marines. He's down to, what, 4 Marines remaining, still rallying in into the siege line. And he does have enough. It's mainly a medic army. But he does clean up the army, does take down all the tanks. That was merely the first wave, and the SSC, you can see that he has just a massive army here, rallying in the center. He has just been out-trading his opponents for the past couple of minutes. Has been out trading. Now pushing through. Marie stims in. Takes down the first tank. We have Homeowner sneaking out a 4th CC. Likewise, so is the STC. They're both expanding. Yo, Ghost production has begun. Let's go. Unfortunately, there's no lockdown. It's not going to be a factor yet. We're working towards the ghost. Oh, as the dropship and the tank go down. Let's try and drop into the main. Drop into the mineral line. SCV's going to be falling. The SSC creating an opening. Doesn't quite go for it. Yeah, it was quite great for one. Oh, no. To be fair, I think that was friendly fire, but the Ursadon does go down, and Homeowner is just turned away. He's just turned away from his own expansion. The mineral line is going to go down. There's no saving these SCVs. Homeowner gets pinned back. Coming in for a flank, but the SC does spot him. Catching the tail end of the army. Takes down the tank. Homeowner is going for the base trade. He's just going for the base trade. He's rallying everything across the map. Back at home, he's vulnerable. And the SC's already pushing in towards the main. Yeah, more boys are being pulled, more SCVs going down. Homeowner is just out in the open. He can't really achieve too much. We do have an army rallying back at home for the STC. And that's going to be a kill at the natural. Lockdown is not done. Oh, God. He's pushing into a siege line. Yeah, it does stem forward. But the STC is all over this. GG gets called, and the STC, he will tie up the series 1-1. Yeah, we'll tie things up, cleans up the army. Again, it was a shaky start. Was a shaky start. And Homeowner, I mean, yeah, he's down to one final base. Blame Hyper 1. And with that, we're going to the ace match. Let's go. We are going to game 3. And we'll see who will claim this series, as we're going to be getting into the ace match here. Bearing in mind that Homeowner, it's going to be his race of choice. Does he go into SC2? Does he go into Brood War? Up to Homeowner. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran, the SC2 Terran. Oh boy. Being forced into a tight series, it is Homeowner. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is the STC. I'll whip out the Google Translates. Oh, John. God, I'm never ready for this. Okay. There's no banter, unfortunately. It's just technical terminology. Homeowner, he's just asking him about the countdown timer and asking like if there's like a delay for him when he has to split his SCVs and split his workers to mine. Like, it's just, yeah. That's why here it says 3, 2, 1, which is a countdown, and here it says SCV. So just asking him. So now, we're getting into our next game. And this time, no proxy. I mean, so far every game we have seen the SEC go for a proxy, go for something more committed. If you remember, game 1, he went proxy double gateway into 2-gate Dragoon with the Cybercore. Game 2, we had the proxy 1-1-1, one base all in out of the SEC as well, until eventually a macro game. Eventually. This time, what's it going to be? So Probe is going to be hunted down. I missed the power walking zealots. Look at him go. With purpose, Pat. With purpose. Look at that. Just getting shot in the face. Shot in the face. Doesn't even care. Doesn't even care. Jesus, at the STC, double expanding, going for his natural, going for his throw base as well. Very greedy follow-up here out of the STC, so gate expanded to Cybercore into Nexus. I want to say one of the greediest builds you can go for here in PvT. Okay. Of course, being hyper aggressive with his first couple of units does delay the CC for a couple of seconds. And with the help of the Dragoon, his hope here, the goal is to contain Homeowner and to get away with that greed. We'll see if he can. Homeowner is being contained. Robert just now finishing up here for the SCC. It's now finishing up. Oh, wait. Wait, what just happened? wait, hold on. Hold on. So, a couple things here. Homeowner, he's being contained. Right. 3-1-1 setup. 3 axes, factory into a starport, stim, +1. Homeowner, he hasn't seen anything, by the way. God damn it. God damn it, Diva. But Homeowner, he has seen nothing, and when you see the SZ, he cancels. He does cancel the 3rd base. Get into an observatory, getting into a 2-base setup instead, working towards Reaver drops instead of the 3rd. Okay, fair enough. I guess a little bit indecisive. Does change his mind. Does cancel it. Like, it isn't a fake out, is what I'm getting at. Like, it wasn't a fake out. It wasn't like trying to deceive his opponent. Like, no, he just canceled. Okay, fair enough. The SSC, he had a change of heart. He's like, you know what? This is too crazy. Like, I'm good. I'm insane. Let's get out of this. What am I doing right now? Goes for the drop. Oh no! Oh, the Widowmine's reposition and the spy shots, they go off and they shut down the. Oh my god, they barely do escape. Second shot doesn't connect. Reaver does make it through somehow, some way. Oh my god, I expected to. It still does fall to the Marines. Takes out 1 tank. I don't know how that second mine shot did not connect, by the way. Barely got out of range in time. And things are looking bleak here with the SEC as Homeowner. He breaks out. He sunsets forward, takes down 1, 2, 3, 4 Dragoons. And Dragoons are falling one after the other, and there's barely anything to defend. Again, the shuttle went down, the Reaver went down, the Dragoons went down as well, and here comes Homeowner. So his bio, his stim, his tank, he doesn't have any medevacs, he has no support for the army, but he doesn't need it. And what is it to defend? 1 Reaver. There's 1 Reaver, there's a couple of Dragoons. He scans at a time, there's no 3rd base. There once was. Homeowner doesn't know that. Doesn't know that, as those break out. He moves in. Reaver shot goes off, massive connection. Okay. Yeah, the splits are not there for Homeowner. Does split too late. Now moving in. Here pushing further into the bases. Does catch out a couple of workers. 7 probes is going to be going down. Reinforcements are on the way. Again, it's going to be a tough hold here for the STC. He's trying to catch him. He's trying. Leaves out another Dragoon. Another 1, 2, 3 Dragoons go down. Oof. The Reavers, they do hold their own. Okay. The ST, he does hold. Does hold, takes down the tank at the same time, though. Homeowner is pushing further in, but he's soon going to be surrounded. Yeah, he's coming in from behind. Mine shot's going up. Oof. Reaver Shot goes off as well on the tank, just barely. It's a bit of a suicide drop there, but the army is cleaned up, and the SCC, he holds, just barely, he holds on. He's surviving. Cleans up the army, goes for his own counterattack. Back at home, Homeowner, he's rallying back, scrambling for a defense, getting his own third base. Again, that was almost game then and there, but the Reavers, they pop up. And the SCC is holding. He's holding on. Here he does run away. Chasing down the CC. Chasing down. Still being active. Oh. And behind the storm is on the way. Still containing Homeowner, catching out Mass Marine. Jesus. The Skype shots have been insane. They've actually been insane. And this could be another 2 tanks going down. He was caught unsieged. Reaver Shot going off. Final tank falls, and now we're going for the middle line, going for the SCVs. Oh, does pull away in time. That's still going to be 10 SCV kills. And the SCV pulls away. Pulls back, he pulls away. Does manage to escape. Yes, oh Jesus. As the shuttle is caught out. Nice catch here from Homeowner. Does catch out the SCC. The SC likewise trying to catch reinforcements. Does poke in between the bases. Catching him out. Storm's coming in. Let's go. Yeah, a couple of storms do land. As one High Templar does barely get away. And I love that the SSC is going for additional shuttles. We have more shuttles, we have more High Templar in production. Homeowner heavily overstimmed, Minox are running out of energy. He's running out. So here come the storms. Mainly just zoning. No major connection, just grazing the army. And again, you can see the SC does have momentum. He's getting his star base up and running. He does have the supply lead, building up his own army. Homeowner is still trying to recover. They moves in fourth. Still trying to build up. Does pull away. Pulls away in time. Mining is going to be delayed. Show us the storms. Oh my god. Oh god, oh, he stands in the storms. He goes back in. Ay, ay, ay. And that should not have happened. Hunch Mono. Feel storm, man. Maybe the Archon finishes, getting 2 more SCVs towards the end. Again, they've just been brutal trades here for Hon Mono, whether it's Storm, whether it's the Reavers. The SC moving back in. Oof. It does. Oh, God, Dust Storm, the mineral line. Annihilates the mineral line as well. It's going to be 22 dead SCVs. The planetary does not help. Doesn't save the boys. On mono. Oh, no. Balanced. True. If only there was a way to split your army. If only. I don't think it's possible. I don't think the tools are there. True. There's no way. I agree. Only Protoss and Zerg can split. I don't think Terran's known for that. I don't think. I don't think they're known for their ability to micro. As we do have the SC now hitting the northern base. It does go for the planetary. And the planetary is going to go down. And once again, Storms do zone. And do zone another 20 SCVs going down. Oh, EMPs don't quite connect. Oh, they do towards the end. Towards the end, Storm still did land. And Homeowner, he is trapping the army. Does lock him down. Finally, a better fight here for Mono as Dragoons, there's no way out. They're pinned against the corner. And Homeowner, he will clean this up. He'll take down every single Dragoon. Again, they cannot take these head-on fights. So nice engage. The problem here is that it did cost Homeowner 2 mineral lines. Like 2 mineral lines did go down. But still a better fight for Homeowner. Oh god. Storm drills continue. Catching at the med. Oh no, the medivacs! They stand in the storms. Jesus. As Homeowner is going to be rushing on forward. Does try to rush forward. The storms, they once again chase him down. God. I love the storm animation. Jesus. It hits different, Papi, every time. It's the best part about StarCraft Evolution. The storms. What's up with the storm animation? This is Brutal Storm. This is not SE2 Storm. They do their best. The creators of this mod, they do their best to delineate between the two. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but the Zealot is not the same as the SE2 Zealot, like model-wise, like visually. Visually it's different. The Brutal Marine is different from the SE2 Marine. And they try their best to, like, change the visual effects as well. They do their best. Because they're not the same, right? At the end of the day, they're not the same. Again, the Brutal Storm does hit different. Does hit harder. And speaking of, oof, yeah, he does chase through the storms. This might be the final push here again. He's trying to expand, trying to claim that planetary. Once again, Reaver's going to be zoning away. Reaver's will zone back. Getting on top of the would-be planetary. CC goes down. Wasting some scav shots here on the buildings. Not ideal. Catching out the Reaver, catching out the High Templar. Nice little pickles here for Mono. Does get some small wins wherever he can. Oh, we got the DT in the mineral line. The Dark Templar, let's go. as yes, he is maxed. At this point, he is maxed out. What do we have to work with here? We have 6 High Templar, no Reavers remaining. Just 6 Templar. The Mass Gateway Army is forcing his way forward. Storm's going to be coming in. Shuttle's going to go down, but he does blanket the army here with those storms. A nice dodge towards the end, but there's just still an overwhelming gateway force. Like Zealous or Dragoons, they still force their way forward. We have a Dark Templar in the mix as well. That's EMP. EMP on the Dark Templar. But again, at this point, the SEC, he has done it. Breaks through that main army. Pushes into the bases. Oof. Shuttle goes down. And Homeowner, he won't be able to hold on to his natural. Not like this. Not anymore. Back. The SEC. Smurge, back. Smurge. As with that, he breaks through the CC, breaks through the natural. GG gets called, and the SEC, he will claim the series 2-1, taking down Honmono and advancing on to the semis. GG. Whew. GG, well played. The SEC, he will claim the series. Again, he does embrace the Brood War Protoss, and he does shut down Honmono. I appreciate that here for the ace match, there was no cheese. If you remember in Game 1 and Game 2, we had just non-stop proxies out of the STC, but here he went for something a little bit different. If you remember, he was going for, I guess, like a hyper greed with the faster base, but he did eventually cancel. He switched into 2 base play instead, going into the faster Reaver production, going for the faster shuttle, with some mixed results, if you recall. If you remember, winding it back, the Homeowner, he actually had a better start. Remember, Homeowner, he shut down the initial Reaver drop, he shut down the Dragoons, he had the supply lead, he had momentum, and then he took some really bad fights. Took some really bad fights across the map. With that, the SEC, he recovered, he bounced back, he was able to gain back map control and take the game from there. GG. GG well played. With that, congratulations, the SEC does claim the series, and with that, we're now getting into our next game. We're getting into our final quarterfinals match. Let's go. Let us go. As we're now getting into our next matchup here, it's going to be a PvZ between Rebellion and Rarebreed. As game 1 is going to be on Vermeer. We love a bit of balance line, not at all. But Homeowner, he's known for crying. That's fine. He's known for it. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we do have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing among SC2 people. Oh, no longer the STC. There we go. It is Rebellion. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. Oh, going for an earlier pull. It is Rarebreed. I'll fix up his name. Dragons are so ugly. I appreciate how they look. I appreciate them. Let's go. As we do have a Zerg, true. We do have some Zerg representation in this bracket. Let's go. As Rarebreed does open up. Does open up with an earlier pool, earlier gas, delayed hatchery out of a Zerg player. Interesting, as he does go for the drone scouts. He's searching for his opponents. With this, he has access to earlier Zerglings, earlier link speed as well, earlier aggression out of our Zerg. There it is. We're flooding. We are going to be flooding across the map. Rebellion, he does scout bottom left, he does scout bottom right, and he will find his opponent. You'll find the lack of expansion. So he knows. He knows early pool, he knows early gas. He will confirm with the probe. Yeah, it does confirm. How does Zerg get to 1514? You can cancel buildings. Then build an extra unit, and then... Oh, sorry. You can build a building, build an extra unit, then cancel. As he does get across the map. So far, Rebellion does fully wall off. Again, he's fully aware of the flood coming his way. So fighting out those Zerglings. So far, it does get on top of the gateway. All Zerg players are hackers. That includes live VIP. Is Hype 1 being a clown again? Jesus. Are you going to explain to us what a degen rush is? Oh no. Tell us when you learn how to write a PTR patch list. Jesus. S the Hyper 1. SMH. We'll get there, we'll get there. As for now, the Link Flood is going to be denied. Railing, he defends the natural. Builds up on 2 bases. Getting to his own forge. Heard those patch notes with both eyes closed after being awake for an entire week. Ah, that makes sense. Hopefully you keep them open next time. Hopefully. As it ups to do shade into the main. Shade into the main base, catching out a couple of drones, 3 drones going down. Some nice damage, bearing in mind that a rare breed, he was very committed. I mean, his drone count is still non-existent. I mean, it's still 19 workers here, now up to 18 workers for a rare breed. Still a very low economy. Still very committed. I mean, he's still got all these things being active. Here, Rare Breed going to try to recover. It's going to be a rough road to recovery here, just because it's been less about the damage that Rebellion has dealt, more about the self-inflicted damage here from Rare Breed, as again the droning just hasn't really been there. Now taking up into Hydras, trying to build up. Rebellion securing himself. They're going for a gateway explosion, going for a +1 charge timing. From here, he can go into a robo, into a prism, and send it across the map. It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be a brutal move out here. As here it comes. Here comes that prism, here comes the move out. To defend against this back at home, Rare Breed is going to have Ling Hydra to work with. Doesn't quite have a lair, doesn't have access to lurkers. With static defense, he can maybe hold. He can maybe hold on. Speaking of, yeah, he's throwing down just a wall of sunken colonies. A wall of colonies are on the way. Here comes the move out. Here comes the push. Oh, Ling's a counterattack at the same time, but there's a full wall. Yeah, there's a full wall, there's a shield battery. Rebellion, he's solid back at home. And we need these colonies to finish. They do need to finish here. If Rare Breed wants a chance here to defend, to survive. As Rebellion is moving out. He is pushing. Archons are finishing up. Likewise, does try to move in, does get met by the side defense. Oh, nice brutal force field. Say shuts down all the Zerglings. He can, of course, kite back. He's got the prism as well. And the Rare Breed, he cannot engage. He cannot engage, not out of range of his own side defense. He needs those colonies. He does need them. Even with them, I know. I should be able to hold on. Yeah, Rebellion, he kites back. Cleans up all the Zerglings, getting on top of the Hydras. Oof. Hydras are going down. The army is split. The army is spread out. Rebellion pulls away. Does pull away, does rotate. Looking for another angle of attack. Artosis in the tournament. I don't know if Artosis is... I don't know if he said anything about StarCraft Evolution. I would imagine he must have cast it in the beginning, right? Question mark? I don't know. I don't know if he has much interest. That I'm not sure about. As Rebellion does so step in. Takes down all the colonies. Colony's going to be going down once again, just zoning back the army. No mining at the third whatsoever. Does some nice kiting here from Rare Breed, trying to hold on. Does Red need lurkers? We did emphasize previously that Rare Breed was behind just because of the failed all-in. He was in a really rough position. With the side defense, he was able to at least defend his natural, but the third base, good. It's still going to be a tough hold. Again, there's no colonies left. We already mentioned how without lurkers, it was going to be a tough hold. Was mentioned. So, Jesus. As the force fields are brutal. And again, this move out, it's getting so much. I mean, at least he's cutting back against the Zealots. At the same time, Prism into the main, going for the warp in, going for the main base. Once again, the force fields lock down most of the Hydras. As the Hydras do crumble, GG gets called, and Rebellion, he takes game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, just punishing the aggression of Rare Breed. Rare Breed just winding it back. Again, he went for a delayed hatchery. He went for a very low drone count. He was on 19 workers for a lot of that early game, going for a Ling Flood, and the Ling Flood achieved nothing. We saw the Rebellion, he was able to scout, able to defend back at home, and just snowballed from there. We saw that Rare Breed, he attempted to macro out of that. He attempted to drone up, but by then he was already behind. He was able to buy time, of course, with the colonies, but we saw that Rebellion, he was able to avoid it, right? He was able to avoid the colonies, able to kite back, kite away, take fights out of range of the colonies as well, and just pull Rare Breed apart. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. Getting into game 2, and we'll see if Rebellion can take it from here, or if his opponent can fight back. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we do have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing among SE2 people. It is Rebellion. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, or the red Zerg player himself. We have the South Korean Zerg. It is Rare Breed. I'll fix up their names. Go. As we are setting up. And this time going hatch first. Let's go. This time we have a standard opener. This time it is going to be hatch first out of Rare Breed. Interesting as well, Rare Breed, he does decide to commit to Brood War. He commits to Brood War Zerg. He's still going for it. Doesn't switch to SC2, which I appreciate. Which I do appreciate. So we have our initial hatch gas pool. Standard setup here out of our Zerg player. We're going to be slowing things down. From here, Rare Breed, he's going to have a much more comfortable start. Now he's nowhere near as committed. Now he can actually drone up. He's getting a third base as well. Again, more of a standard macro build. I'm a little bit concerned coming into Pylon. Pylon is a bit of a smaller map, a more aggressive map as well. This is where Rebellion can, once again, be assertive and be aggressive. We'll see how Rare Breed can keep up. Seems like lurkers are one of the only ways to beat Protoss. I mean, lurkers are kind of like a standard like mid-game kind of tech that you work towards. Speaking of, gases are being taken, hydrogen is on the way, and again, lurker tech is behind lair, so you have to get into lair first, then into lurkers. We have seen some players embrace muta play, for example, and going ling into muta. Like, that's also an option here for our players. But I will say that for the most part, tech options are very limited for most Brood War races. Again, when it comes to SE2, you can go Ling Bane, Roach Ravager, you can go Ling Bane into Hydra Lurker, you can go Ling Hydra. Here from the side of Brood War, because there's no Roaches, the Hydras, they play like a very pivotal role. Well, I should say they kind of are one of the more core units. So Ling Hydra into Lurker is very standard. So it's just a very standard style. And again, just to emphasize, Rarebreed was behind getting into the last game. Which is kind of why like he wasn't able to afford like a lair and able to take up. But here he should be able to. As one drone does go down, Adept is dealt with. We have seen some players attempt to go Ling into Ultra, but that's just very difficult to get away with. There we go, Lair is on the way. So we're taking up into Lair Tech. For now, we're droning, we're saturating. This time the economy is much stronger here for Rarebreed compared to previously. As you can see, he's made a bare minimum amount of Lings, as we don't need any more. And Rebellion is going for the same style. Ooh, going once again into charge, into +1, into a more zealot heavy start. I would imagine towards another timing here on 2 bases, as he's going for a very high gateway count. Yeah, he's committing. Same build. Same build. Now, what I will say is that this shouldn't hit as hard as it did previously. I mean, there's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, on Vermeer, Rarebreed was playing from behind. He was playing from behind, so it was already a rough position for him to be in. Was already in a position to try to defend. Here on Pylon, I would say that Rarebreed, he's had a stronger start, but the map is going to be working against him. Here, the rush distance by ground is much shorter, so it's going to take less time for Rebellion to get across the map, so in that sense, this will hit harder. Meanwhile, Lurker Tech is on the way, but can we survive long enough to actually embrace Lurkers here? It's going to be a tough hold for Rarebreed. It's going to be very intense, it's going to be very tight. We'll see if we can pull it off. As here comes Rebellion, and he's going to be on 8 gates? 7. It's going to be on 7 gateways. They're going for his warp in. Trying to go for the force field. Speaking of, does force field. Yeah, it does force field the ramp. The army's going to be zoned away. But he still can't break through that force of spine crawlers or sunken colonies. So, cheeky move, but it isn't really going to lead to anything. Yeah, it's Rebellion. He does see the wall of sunken colonies. He does avoid it, does head towards the third. Once again, we have more colonies in position. We do have a nice force field. Does zone away the Hydras. Lurkers now morphing in. Lurkers are on the way. And Rebellion is forced back. And again, shout out to all the spine coolers, shout out to all the side defense. Rarebreed holds. And Rebellion expands. There we go. Rebellion, he backs off, he does expand, going for his own third base. We're gonna back off, we're gonna embrace a longer game state. Are the Lurkers are they trapped? I'm hoping there's enough room here. Yeah, okay, we're good. Can squeeze through. Just has to suck it in. It's all good. Does make it out. At the same time, we do have Mass Zerglings going to be hitting the third base. Looking to delay. For the most part, though, Rebellion should be in position. Should be in position. Lings, they do force a cancel. Behind the bases. Let's get behind, dropping into the mineral line. And once again, just keeping the Zerg player busy. And we're going for the Spire from here. And this should just be for Scourge, just for more of a supportive army to shut down the Prism. To shut it down from here, which, where are the workers? As our saturation is a little bit lacking here back at home. Rare Breed just now droning, but his own economy is lackluster. He's been focusing and fixating a little bit too much here on Lings, on Lurkers, on Hydras, when he hasn't really been needing to. So the macro is slipping here for Rare Breed. Rebellion back at home, securing his own third. Building up into Disruptors. Behind this, just going to be harassing. Also, I just assumed it was going to be Scourge. We actually do invest into the mutas. Okay, we have a couple of mutas here popping out. We have +1 air attack on the way, so Rare Breed is going to be committing a little bit harder here as he's continuing muta production. Now, what's important is that Rebellion is at least aware. He does scout this, he's aware. When it comes to his own anti-air setup, he actually doesn't really have much. He has Blink, that is true, but remember, there's no Stargate. There's no Stargate, there's no way to get into Phoenix production, at least not yet. Mutas head into the bases, and do we have a defensive warp in? Not quite. As they get into the mineral line. Rogue's going to be going down. We have some defensive stalkers. At least we do have some side defense. So Rebellion does hold. Across the map was able to get able to get 8 drone kills. And Rebellion is pushing. He is moving out, and unfortunately, we spoke about this before, but mutas, they're designed to harass. They're not really designed to engage in a head-on fight. It's not against these Archons, not against this kind of army. How many Lurkers? 15. 15 Lurkers. We have more on the way. Base does go down. And Novas, they don't quite connect. Nice sniper on the Disruptors. It's going to be 2 Disruptors going down. And Rebellion, he rotates. From here, he backs off, he rotates, took down the expansion. Let's try to reposition. Likewise, heading over towards the 4th. Not bad. Does hit the 4th base. Base is going to go down. At the same time, Zealous, they do warp in across the map, and Rebellion, he does race back home. Turns around to defend, and honestly, there's not that much support here for the Lurkers. Yeah, Brutal Novas. Lurkers are getting caught out. Oof. And Rare Breed has to get the hell out of here. Some brutal losses here, losing even more Lurkers. Yeah, Lurkers are getting caught out. So, a bit of friendly fire. Takes out his own Zealots. Speaking of Rebellion, going for another warp in. Does go for another round. Oh, that's good. We got the Terran theme. Said this before. I appreciate the soundtrack, the OSC whenever we're in an SE mod map. It's beautiful. Rebellion just pulling back the army. Takes down 7 drones, the expansion, he rotates over. Rare Breed trying to keep up, but the lurker count is quite low, or at least not quite in position. Oof. Nova's gonna be popping off. As they punish the Hydras. As Rare Breed, once again, he does reposition, does counterattack. Top right is under fire. Rebellion, he can just push right into the natural. Uh-oh. We're going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade. Let's go. Rarely busts into the natural base. He knocks down the wall of spine crawlers, the wall of Sunkakonis. At the same time, Rare Breed busting into the natural as well. Lurkers 8 bar at the natural. Rest of the army does head towards the third. Mutas are going to be going down. Muta's going to be falling. But Hydra's a stutter step in. And we do see Rare Breed trying to set up here on the high ground. We have more colonies on the way, but it's too late. Yeah, it's a little bit too late. They're not going to be able to finish in time. Base is going to be going down. And Rebellion, he's running out of buildings. He actually doesn't really have much to defend back at him. He can still recall, though. He can recall. He has that option. But Rare Breed, he turns everything back around. I mean, there's only one Disruptor. There's a couple of Archons. But he's scared about losing his bases. Yeah, he's scared about his bases. He races back to his third. We'll see if he can make a stand. Lurkers are barring. We have one base versus one base. Oh! Prism gets caught. Nice catch. First queen is on the way. Pushing up into Lurkers. But the Novas ain't pop off. Novas do punish. Bearing in mind that the dynamic between Brutal or Zerg and SG Protoss is very different. Like, there's no Vipers, there's no abductions. Likewise, there's no, I mean, Lurker's a little bit slower to react to respond to on Brute. So Disruptors can be that much more effective. Queens are a good way to try to counter that. They can, of course, ensnare. They can parasite. They can spawn Broodlings. Unfortunately, I believe that upgrade wasn't researched. Yeah, there's no spawn Broodlings. So they're a little bit limited in what they can achieve here, unfortunately. And the tech just isn't there. And a jet to favor Rebellion's main army. Like, this is a death bolt. Like, this is terrifying. It's got 5 Disruptors, Mass Archon. Use a mobile. Forces a recall. Does force a recall. Oh god, it does take all the storms to the face. Jesus. All the mutas go down. Not purely a Hydra Lurker remaining. We see Rare Breed trying to redrone, trying to resaturate. We have 9 Lurkers. We have 35 Hydras. Because of the lack of upgrades, again, the Queen isn't really too much of a factor anymore. Speaking of, the Queen goes down anyway. Did get a Parasite off. So has vision at least. At the same time, going for a massive counterattack. Once again, trying to outposition Rebellion. Recall is on cooldown, true. He has the high ground. Does have the high ground. Nice positioning here from Rare Breed. Hatchery goes down across the map. Rare Breed moves in. So a bunch of setting up here. Does set up back at home. Bleeding out more Lurkers. Speaking of them, more going to be taking some hits. The splits are somewhat there. Somewhat. Oof. As the storms are brutal. Hydras are getting softened up. I can see these Hydras are a little bit more sturdy compared to the SE2 Hydra, as they're not light units, but despite that, oh my Jesus, calm down! Rebellion trying to force his way through, but just get punished. It takes a lot of spine shots to the face. He cannot push into the lurkers, not like that. And Rebellion, he will plummet in supply. Does plummet. Here, Rebellion, he pulls away. Does pull away, does rotate. Knocks down the third, just keeping Rebellion on 2 bases. Really on 1 base. She got a High Templar. And we're still just on a very low economic game state here. Ooh, as he does get a Disruptor. Nicely done. Nice catch. We have Rare Breed here on 1.5 bases. Rebellion on no economy. Jesus. No mining whatsoever. Long distance mining. Oof. Never goes off. Down to the units that we have. We want 19 lurkers here for Rare Breed. That's a good load to cancel. Massive pickoff. It's going to be a kill. And I don't see Rare Breed losing a fight back at home. The one thing that's hurting him, I don't know if you noticed, but he hasn't been droning. He's been making more Lings, more Hydras, more army. So we did point out this this fact earlier, actually. When the game was actually building up into the mid game, Rare Breed also had a really hard time droning and actually making workers. He did overemphasize army at times when he could have been droning. With this many lurkers and spine cores, I would say they should be safe to drone. Hydras are thrown away. They're setting up. Like again, like this ground army cannot push into the siege line, so right now we need to drone, but we haven't been for quite some time. Oof. Storm's popping off. We can see here Rare Breed oversaturated. Now does rotate. Now does transfer. He's getting, for the most part, saturated here, for the most part. But again, I do feel like he has missed opportunities here to drone, to saturate, to secure his economy earlier, faster, much faster, to then be able to start to tech and potentially even start working on queen upgrades. Referring to spawn broodlings, referring to ensnares. Without those spellcasters, it is going to be difficult to catch out the Protoss army. But it just hasn't really been a priority here for Rare Breed. As he's now got 3 drones on the way, so now he's droning up a little bit. From here, Rebellion is being active. 2 catches 2. Lurker's about to borrow. We get some decent storms. Lings, they try to surround the army. Tries to lock him in. Lurkers are barely out of range, though. 1 High Templar goes down. Takes out a Templar. Rare Breed pushing out. Getting caught. Uh-oh. We'll bleed out 3 lurkers. 3 lurkers go down, takes down a High Templar, but now there's no support for the lurkers. And they're all gonna fall. Yeah, Rare Breed gets caught out in the open. He will lose everything. All the lurkers will go down. And GG gets called as he will lose the entire army. And Rebellion, he will bounce back. He will take the series 2-0, taking down Rare Breed. GG. GG, well played. I feel like that was almost Rare Breed's game to lose. Like, he was in a commanding position at times when it came to the base trade. He was able to reestablish his bases, but as we pointed out multiple times in that game, he had a really hard time deciding to drone. He was a little bit too often hyperfixated on building up his army, building up his Hydras, his Lynx, his Lurkers, when he otherwise didn't need to, and because of that, he had a really hard time gaining that economic lead over his opponents, to be able to tech up, to be able to reestablish his own economy, his bases as well. GG well played. With that, Rare Breed got caught out in the open, got surrounded even as well, and with that, Rebellion will claim the series. GG, well played. Congratulations, Rebellion, who does advance on into those semi-finals. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be, I do apologize, we are going to be cutting things a little bit short here tonight. We just wrapped up with the quarterfinals, and we still have the semis and grand finals remaining. When it comes to the semifinals, it's going to be Tasia versus Rebellion and the STC versus Rumiath, but we might jump into this tomorrow. I do apologize, but here in Australia, it's actually quite cold. It is winter here, and I'll be honest, I was struggling to get through the last 2 series. My throat is actually really sore. And I'm a little bit scared that I'm getting a little bit sick, so so I will try to get some rest. I'll try not to speak for the rest of the day, and hopefully I'm okay. My big concern especially is I don't want anything bad to happen, because EWC is in a couple of days. Esports World Cup is in a couple of days. I want to make sure that I'm well rested for EWC, so I am gonna cut the stream a little bit earlier today. I mean, it's still 3 hours in. Usually our stream's like 4 hours. But I should be able to wrap up next time. When it comes to our next broadcast, I'm still a little bit torn. We might do that tomorrow. As you can see here, we have our schedule, and we do have a free slot tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. So I might cast Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, and wrap up the semis and the finals. We also just got wind that it just got announced, I think, that there's going to be an SEL King of the Hill tournament this weekend. Which I believe is going to be on this patch, and that might be on the 20th. That might be on Sunday. If that is the case, never mind. I was going to say that we might cast that live, but Sunday is also the Platinum Heroes monthly tournament, so it's going to be a big day. Yeah, it's going to be a big day of StarCraft, so we might just cover that from replays instead. But again, it is going to be an intense weekend here, and again, just as a heads up, when it comes to the semis and the finals, I most likely slot that in probably tomorrow morning at this time, so 24 hours from now we'll be going over the semis. I do apologize for cutting it early, but I want to make sure that I don't lose my voice, or I don't get sick, or I don't get worse. I'm gonna go like make some tea and cover myself up. So with that, GG, well played. Again, to apologize, but again, it's always fun to catch up with StarCraft Evolution, to catch up with SEL, and again, we should be able to wrap up tomorrow before Sea Duckling Open. Our next broadcast, if not for that, is going to be Sea Duckling Open. That's going to be tomorrow at 7 PM KST. I will not be casting that. I admin that event, which will also help when it comes to making sure my throat's okay and making sure we're all good. That's going to be casted by Kuro. Kuro and Steelmall, they do cover SDO. That is a monthly tournament for Bronze to Diamond players. And we also have Sparkling Tune Cup on Sunday. And again, it's not on the schedule, but after STC, bam, we go straight into the Platinum Heroes monthly tournament, which we are going to be casting here on the CranKy Ducklings as well. So we're going to be covering that event. We have the Wardy TV Monday on Monday, of course. Actually, I still have to, you know what? I'll message Wardy now. I don't think Wardy TV Monday is going to be taking place because Wardy's traveling to EWC. If he's traveling, if there's no Wardy TV Monday, then that would be a nice time slot for the SEL King of the Hill broadcast. True. So we could cover it then instead. I'll message Wardy. So we'll have to find out. Likewise, I don't know if the Pegasaur Cup is going to be this week either, because Pig is going to be traveling, right? So they might reschedule those weeklies because of EWC. But we'll see. Regardless, EWC is going to be here on the channel as always. We covered it last year. Going to be covering this year as well. Light taking care of his health, right? Crazy, baby, crazy. I've never lost my voice while casting. I've never lost my voice or anything like that. But I don't want to get sick. that's my big concern. I don't want to get sick. So gonna try to cover the chest and take care of myself. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And again, you can tune into more of the CranKy Ducklings over the socials. We do upload on a daily basis, so you can check us out over on YouTube. You can check us out over here on Twitch as well. We do stream on a daily basis. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. And again, we are just taking things a little bit easier here as we get into the Esports World Cup. We want to make sure we're well rested and that we are in top form for the EWC. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time. For some more CranKy Ducklings. See you soon. Ciao. Bye. Ciao. Thanks for watching. See you next time.